Well, Iran has condemned as totally wrong the U.S. decision to resume sending arms to foreign-backed insurgents in Syria. Iran's deputy foreign minister says arming, quote, irresponsible armed groups will not help end the ordeal of the Syrian people. Hossein Amir Abdullahian says had there existed a military solution to the Syrian crisis, the conflict would have ended within the past 3 years. He also said Washington's contradictory behavior at a time when the Geneva II conference is still underway shows that the White House has no plans to help end the Syrian crisis. He added that the Syrian issue can be resolved only through democratic means. Well, to discuss that further, we're now joined by Mr. William Jones, who is with the Executive Intelligence Review, and he's joining us live now from Leesburg. Mr. Jones, thanks a lot for joining us now. This U.S. decision to resume sending arms does come off as a bit ironic, considering it's also at the Geneva II talks, doesn't it?
It's very contradictory. It doesn't make sense. If there was a real intent to try and come to some kind of diplomatic solution, one of the first things they would try and do is try and stop the violence. But now what they're doing is they're feeding in more guns and ammunition. The violence will increase, and it's hard to see how negotiations under those circumstances can lead to a lasting peace.
And so going forward, Mr. Jones, do you believe that the United States will continue such a policy, a double-track policy, if I may call it that, of both, saying that it sides with negotiations and at the same time arms, quote-unquote, insurgents?
Well, I think there'll be an attempt to do that. Obviously, there are people on this side of the fence who do want to move towards a diplomatic solution, but the administration is trying to play both ends to appease both those who want more military support to the so-called rebels and those who want to bring everybody to the peace table. I think there's also an attempt to try and improve the situation of the rebels as they're moving into the diplomatic solution, but it's a very contradictory policy, and I just cannot see that the discussions themselves could lead to anything concrete as long as there's a policy of supporting the violence in the region, which they're doing by their measures now taking and giving arms to the rebels.
Right, so when you speak about this contradictory policies coming out of Washington, is this down to a division within the U.S. government itself, do you think, vis-a-vis Syria?
Well, I think there's divided opinions on this, and you've got a president who has pretty much shown that he really can't make decisions of this nature. And so he's somewhat in a situation, he's being pulled from both parties, and he's trying to play the middle, so to speak. And therefore, you've got a policy which effectively is leading to more violence in the region and not to peaceful negotiations.
Okay, we'll leave it there for now, but of course, we appreciate you speaking to us. That was Mr. William Jones speaking to us live from Leesburg.